It was a stormy night, and I was excited about the sleepover party at my best friend James's house. Our parents were out of town, and it was just the four of us: James, Sarah, Tom, and me. We had planned a night of movies, snacks, and games. James's house was an old, creaky place full of strange noises and shadows. He used to joke about it being haunted, but we never took it seriously. That night, though, things started to feel different. The storm outside was howling, and we had just settled down to watch a horror movie. The room was filled with the light of the TV and the sound of popping popcorn. "Did you guys hear that?" Tom suddenly asked, looking around. We all paused, but the only sound was the wind and rain outside. We laughed it off and continued watching the movie. Later, as the night wore on, we decided to play the classic sleepover game of Truth or Dare. When it was my turn, I picked Dare, wanting to show off a bit. "I dare you to go into the attic and bring back something," James said with a mischievous grin. The attic was a place we usually avoided, full of dust and old family relics. But I didn't want to appear scared, so I grabbed a flashlight and headed upstairs. The attic door creaked open, and I felt a chill run down my spine. I looked around, my flashlight beam revealing old furniture and boxes. As I moved deeper into the room, I saw a dusty old mirror and something caught my eye. I turned to look, and for a split second I saw a face staring back at me, a face that wasn't mine. I screamed and ran back downstairs, the face etched into my mind. "What happened?" my friends asked, concerned. I told them about the face in the mirror, but they all laughed it off, thinking I was trying to scare them. The night went on, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. As we settled into our sleeping bags, I kept glancing at the attic door. Around midnight, I was jolted awake by a loud thud from above. My heart pounded in my chest as I woke up my friends. "What was that?" Sarah asked, her voice trembling. We all listened, but the house was silent. Deciding to investigate, we made our way to the attic door. As we opened it, a cold wind rushed past us, and we saw that the room was in chaos. Furniture overturned, boxes scattered, and there, in the middle of the room, was the mirror, cracked and broken. We all stared in disbelief, not knowing what to make of it. James was the first to speak. "I think we should leave this place," he said, his voice quivering. We didn't need any convincing. Grabbing our things,
I was beyond thrilled about the sleepover at my best friend Emily's house. It was going to be the five of us: Emily, Lily, Hannah, Olivia, and me. Emily's parents were away for the weekend, so we had the whole place to ourselves. Emily's house was a sprawling old mansion, filled with long hallways and countless rooms. Her family had owned it for generations, and there were plenty of stories about the place being haunted. None of us believed in ghosts, though, so we laughed off the tales. The night started off great, with lots of gossip, snacks, and our favorite movies. The thunderstorm outside only added to the cozy atmosphere. That's when Emily decided to spice things up. "Let's explore the basement," she exclaimed. "I've never been down there, and I heard there's an old trunk filled with mysterious stuff." We all looked at each other, excitement and fear in our eyes. The basement was off limits, but the idea was too tantalizing to resist. Armed with flashlights, we made our way down the creaky stairs. The basement was cold, damp, and full of cobwebs. Our flashlights revealed old furniture, paintings, and the mysterious trunk Emily had mentioned. We opened the trunk, and inside were old letters, photographs, and a beautiful locket. I picked it up, entranced by its beauty. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and a chill filled the room. I felt a hand on my shoulder and turned around, expecting to see one of my friends. But no one was there. "Guys, did you feel that?" I asked, my voice shaky. They all looked at me, confused. We decided to leave the basement, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching us. The rest of the night went by uneventfully, but I kept thinking about the locket and the cold hand on my shoulder. Later, as we settled into our sleeping bags, I heard a soft whisper calling my name. I looked around, but everyone was asleep. I told myself it was just my imagination and drifted off to sleep. In the middle of the night, I was awakened by a soft lullaby. I looked around, and there, in the corner of the room, stood a ghostly figure of a woman, holding the locket and singing. I screamed, waking everyone up. The figure vanished, and I was left trembling, the melody still ringing in my ears. We spent the rest of the night huddled together, too scared to sleep. In the morning, we found the locket lying on the floor, the chain broken.
It was a dark and stormy night, the perfect setting for a sleepover at my friend Jake's place. My friends Mark, Tom, and I were gathered in Jake's chilly basement, ready to have the time of our lives. Our excitement knew no bounds, for we had a plan. We were going to play with a Ouija board. We'd heard stories of people communicating with spirits, uncovering secrets, and experiencing the unknown. With the lights dimmed and candles flickering, we nervously settled around the board. The room felt charged with energy, and the shadows seemed to dance with anticipation. Mark, always the skeptic, teased us, making spooky noises and laughing. We all joined in, giddy with excitement and a hint of fear. We started with simple questions like, "Is anyone there? And can you tell us your name?" To our shock, the planchette began to move. It spelled out Hello. My heart raced. My palms were sweaty. Tom's eyes were wide with terror and wonder. Jake, who was already fascinated by the occult, asked more daring questions. That's when things began to take a turn for the worse. The room grew colder. The flickering candles seemed to sputter, as if struggling to stay alight. The board revealed secrets about each of us, secrets that no one else could know. We grew uncomfortable, glancing at each other, our initial excitement turning into something darker. But we didn't stop. The board told us about Mike's disappearance, an old story from our town, and even revealed a hidden fact about the local baseball field. The atmosphere became eerie, and I felt a chilling presence that I couldn't shake off. And then the slaps started. They came out of nowhere, stinging our faces, like an invisible hand was punishing us. Shadows grew longer, and the sensation of being watched intensified. We tried to end the session, to close the circle, but the Ouija board defied us. It wouldn't let go. Panic set in. We stumbled upstairs, leaving the board behind, but the feelings persisted. We heard wolves in the distance and strange, haunting noises that made our skin crawl. Mark, who had been so skeptical, was now pale and shaken. Tom couldn't shake off a fascination with blood, and a demonic face kept appearing in my mind, watching, waiting. We knew something had gone horribly wrong. In the following days, tragedy struck. Accidents, distress, urgent hospital visits. The Ouija's ominous warning was fulfilled. We sought help from psychics, healers, and even a pastor. But nothing could free us from the entity's grip. It led to depression, agoraphobia, and a life forever altered. It took a Kabbalist magician's intervention to end the contract with the entity, emphasizing the risks of the occult. We regained our lives, but we were forever changed. I share this tale now as a warning. That sleepover, that Ouija board, changed our lives in ways we could never have imagined. It's a memory that still haunts me, a reminder of the dangers of playing with forces we don't understand. The shadows still watch, the coldness still lingers, and sometimes, late at night, I can still hear the wolves.